Howdy, folks. Welcome to this week's Ag Report. So the Waxahachie Sun does its best to be relevant and talk about issues that maybe you are seeing. So in the past reports over the last couple of months, you've probably heard us talk a little bit about grain prices coming up, corn prices coming up, a little bit of frost damage on corn, a little frost damage on wheat, that kind of stuff. But you may be going to the grocery store or going out to a restaurant right now, and or you may have turned on the radio or something and heard about chicken and chicken prices, and that they are going up and they are going to be up for a while. So I thought I would talk to you a little bit about chicken. There's a very large poultry industry in Texas. So I thought I'd kind of let you see what's driving that price, why that price is going up. So lots of chicken houses in Texas. There are a bunch. Mainly they are in East Texas. There's quite a few birds over there. So let's go back to Winter Storm Uri. It's the storm that just keeps giving. Okay, y'all remember we were out of power for several days. Okay. Well, part of what you're seeing in the chicken industry is a direct result of that. Okay. Depending on what size birds the sellers or the restaurants or the stores want, depends on how long those birds are fed. Okay. It can be 10 weeks, can be 12 weeks, that kind of stuff. So if you do a little quick math, what was going on about 8 to 10 weeks ago? Well, that was Winter Storm Uri. So what has happened is a couple things. Without electricity and heat, they didn't hatch eggs. Okay. The eggs went bad because they couldn't keep them at a proper temperature to do. So you lost new chicks being born. Then you had new chicks or pullets, different size of birds that, again, because they couldn't keep the growing houses in the proper temperature because of no electricity, no natural gas, that kind of stuff, there was a large loss of those small birds, okay, because they couldn't keep themselves warm. And so just that goes all the way up. You even had adult birds that were lost in there. So that is showing up now, that there is a shortage of chicken to feed that need. Now, another thing that's going on, we talked about the corn crop. We talked about frost and some damage there. Well, that has gotten worse because the I states, okay, up in the Midwest, the corn producing states that do the bulk of the United States corn production, they're talking about the worst drought since 2001 or before. So they are planting into very dry conditions. They don't have enough rain enough ground moisture to sprout that seed and get it started. That's driving up the corn price. Last time we had talked, that stuff was around $6.50 a bushel, $7. Yesterday it closed at $7.50. Okay. You've also, remember, we've talked about being on a world market, WTO and stuff. Well, Brazil is having a horrible drought. So their corn crop is going to be pretty bad. That again is driving up that corn price. They say we're headed to $8 on there. So you've got all of these kind of factors going in. Corn is a major part of a chicken's diet. Okay. So when you've got that winter storm and you've lost those birds, lost that production, whether that was eggs or pullets or what have you, then you've got the price of the major component for the chicken feed, which is corn, going up a whole bunch, and not sure where that's going to stop at because of all these other factors in the world, not just in America. Then that again raises that price because it costs a whole lot more to feed that bird. So that's why you are seeing higher prices going up in the stores. That's in the restaurants. That's why it's in the news now. Some of that also is going to trickle back to beef. There's high demand on beef right now because Texas is 100% open. Folks are going back to restaurants. There's high demand there, so the price of beef is on the way up. The other thing to remember, a lot of the processing facilities for whether it's poultry or meat or what have you are not necessarily located in Texas. They are outside of Texas. And those states are still closed, meaning they are still on government assistance, and those workers are sitting at home. And even if they wanted to, those processing plants cannot run at 100% capacity because they don't have workers, and they can't get workers because the states are closed. And unless you have a high paying job in that processing facility, it does not, those folks are doing better sitting at home than they would be working. Now, I know that sounds crazy and you know, hard to understand that kind of deal, but that's honestly what's going on. Is the processors cannot find labor to work in there so that they can run at 100% capacity, so that they can process more meat, have more available, and lighten the load on that demand in there. Thus would help that price a little bit. So I know that's a shotgun blast, and you know, it's kind of a spider web picture. There's a lot of different things that go into affecting that price that you're seeing. I hope that gives you, you know, a little bit of glimpse of what it is that's going on. Like I say, it's going to be here for a while, because remember, you know, we only make a corn crop once a year. You know, same thing with most other countries, unless, you know, like Brazil, they can do double crops and things like that. So until we make a really good crop and we have some grain in storage and those storehouse numbers go back up, then you're probably going to see this high price for a while. Remember, our corn harvest is in August, late July. So, you know, that's what I say. It's going to be a while before we kind of see a turn in that. So if y'all always have any questions, reach out to the Waxahachie Sun. I hope this helps with, you know, maybe you were kind of scratching your head of, well, last week I sure thought I didn't pay that much for this chicken right here, and this week it seems to be more. Well, that's a little of the backstory of what's driving that on there. So, well, we appreciate your time. I'm going to go over here and look at my wheat, see if I've got some grain starting to go in the dough possibly, and then I've got some corn right next door. I'm going to go give it a check. So y'all take care now.